everyone. Welcome back to Love Life Support.
Hey guys, you're my favorite people.
Yes, you are.
Yes, you are.
And welcome back to the podcast, your favorite podcast.
We're your favorite podcast. In I scratch my back, you scratch your own, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Before we get started, I just want to say please like this video and subscribe to our channel. We are trying to get to 1,000 subscribers so
Yeah.
that we can start monetizing our videos.
Yeah, be
So-
very nice.
We also post on TikTok every single day, and yeah.
Yeah.
So, without further ado,
What's the theme today, Patty?
so the theme today is just communicate.
Just communicate. What? Like last week, I said should be the theme of the whole show, man. All right, let's hear it.
So, if you know us, or especially me, I usually say, I feel like you could just communicate. And all these stories make me think, yeah, just communicate. Just do that. Like, it's not that hard. So, yeah. Am I the asshole for telling my sister-in-law / brother she wasn't invited on a road trip due to her not driving and anxiety? I invited my sister and mother on a girls' road trip, but excluded my sister-in-law due to her not driving. I have 3 brothers, and my oldest brother is the only one that is married. Let's call my sister-in-law Jenny. Jenny is overall fine. We don't have much in common, but she hasn't given anyone any problems. Jenny doesn't drive due to her anxiety. This was explained to us by our brother before we met her, and to be kind. Just being in the car makes her jittery. She gets really anxious easily and has stepped out of events before. This hasn't been an issue. Usually she will just leave with my brother, calm down, and come back to the event. We only had one case of another family member needing to pick her up since she can't drive. I wanted to go on a road trip across the USA. It's a ton of driving, even if we are only hitting one of the coasts. This means a lot of driving and stuck in the car. We made a driving schedule to make it easier so not one person is driving the whole time. Due to all these factors, we didn't invite Jenny. She can't help with driving, and we don't need to be in a car with somebody that is stressed / anxious for hours on end. In the big group chat, I sent out a text that I won't be able to go to a family event due to the trip. I get a call from my brother, and he asked why his wife wasn't invited, and I explained the above reason. He told her, and now both of them are pissed at me. Am I the asshole? I feel like I am the person that has the most right to talk about this situation because I don't drive.
Right, that's true.
And I have anxiety about driving. I don't have anxiety while being in the car though. Like, I mean, I can get anxiety obviously in certain at certain times, but for the most part, the driving is the most anxious idea. Like, I have travel anxiety, but not like this, basically. But I don't drive because I am too anxious to drive. So if somebody wasn't going to invite me to a road trip because I can't drive, and so that meant that I couldn't help with the driving part, I would be pissed.
Right,
I'd be
because
so
it's not just
upset.
about driving.
Like, that's so mean. Like, come on. But at the same time, this girl she's not just anxious about driving, she's anxious about being in the car. So it kind of makes sense in that aspect to not invite her, but maybe just communicate.
Yeah, I think overall not the asshole, but it would be nice to get the invite anyway. But just don't expect her to come. I mean,
For the most part, even if you don't think that somebody's going to come to something, you should still invite them if they are somebody, like a family member or somebody you care about.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
because somebody lives hours away and you have something going on, like your birthday party or something, you should invite them. Even though they might not come out for your birthday party,
Exactly.
you should invite them because It's like the idea. So
Yeah.
a whole trip across the USA, and your other family members are, I guess, being invited to do this thing with you. You didn't invite her.
Yeah.
Also, did you invite your brother but not your sister-in-law? Like, it was weird.
Yeah. I don't know why.
I think she didn't invite her brother,
Okay.
but
I don't
it's
know
just like this is
why.
weird.
I don't know why the brother and sister-in-law are getting mad exactly. Cause
I would be mad.
yeah, but
In my, like, I'm not scared to be in the car. I think if I was, like, just totally terrified of being in the car, which I have been like that, and I've gone on road trips. Like, I went on a road trip with my sister, like, up to Massachusetts, and I was terrified of cars.
yeah,
And it was just me, her, and her friend.
yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
wasn't like my whole family.
Yeah.
So, I mean, granted, she probably didn't know that I had that bad anxiety, but because I don't tell anybody anything. But I still went.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I don't know, maybe she would have gone, like, and try it out. But, like, I don't know. It's weird because if your whole family is like, oh, Patty is too anxious to be in the car, and somebody in your family is planning to do a big road trip with the whole family, they didn't invite us, didn't even think about it. I think I would be mad because they don't know your updates. Like, they don't know if that's changed. But if it's like
Exactly.
very obvious that even being in the car is too much for her, she's expressed how she would never want to go on a road trip and all of these things, and it wasn't that long ago since she said these things, I would assume she wouldn't want to go. So I understand not inviting her, because if I was her, I'd be like, oh yeah, I of course would not go to that. Like,
Yeah,
no, like,
exactly.
no way I'm going to that. So it's a weird situation, but if this was done to me because someone was assuming I wouldn't want to go, or saying because I can't contribute to driving,
Yeah, I
I'm
don't like that
not
part.
allowed to go,
Yeah,
I would be pissed.
that's the most asshole part.
Yeah.
So if you am I the asshole? Yeah.
The most asshole part is saying that since she can't help with the driving, that she's not invited. But if it's just because, it's also like we don't want to deal with somebody that is stressed slash anxious for hours on end. It's like, it's also kind of mean.
Right.
It's more like, does she want to put herself through that?
Yeah, you can leave that
If
up to
she is
her.
so anxious and can't handle being in the car for too long, then I think she herself would say she's not gonna go.
What does the internet say?
Says not the asshole.
Okay.
Yeah, Reddit says that she's not the asshole. The one comment says, not the asshole. I get that sister-in-law is upset about feeling left out, but she needs to be realistic. First, your relationship with her is different than it is with your mother and sister. That's not a negative towards sister-in-law, just a fact. Second, as you mentioned, she doesn't drive and is obviously uncomfortable in cars. A road trip is not the place for her. Third, space inside the car is at a premium on a road trip. An extra person plus luggage is a huge change. Fourth, even if we ignore everything above, there's nothing wrong with not inviting someone on a trip. Sometimes other people do things without us. That's a fact of life. I will say this seems more like a brother issue than a sister-in-law issue, though. Sister-in-law probably wouldn't have as much of an issue if brother didn't stick his nose where it didn't belong. I think if you're not inviting her because you're not close to her, like, okay, then whatever.
Right. It seems like you're close though. It seems like she would expect you to invite something, to be invited to something. So I think the whole thing about space in the car is like, that was not brought up. If it was an issue, then it would have been brought up, and we would not be saying asshole here.
Also, it's like I invited my sister and mother on a girls' road trip,
Mm-hmm.
but excluded my sister-in-law
Mm-hmm.
due to her not driving.
Mm-hmm.
So you literally said it's due to her not driving more
Yeah.
so than anything else.
Yeah.
It was a girls' trip. You thought you would invite her, but because she doesn't drive, then she's not invited. It's like, what?
That makes it asshole. If you were more like, oh, I just basically don't need another driver. I just didn't was worried about her. Then it's like, not asshole.
It's also like they obviously think that you guys are close enough that she would be invited to this sort of thing. But like, whereas if it was your sister, I would not expect to be invited to this sort of thing. Unless other sister-in-laws were invited. Then, of course, I would expect to be invited to this sort of thing.
Yeah. I
But she's
guess
the
so.
only sister-in-law. So, like, you could have just said, it's just a trip with your mom and your sister and you. That's normal. Like, you don't have to invite your sister-in-law. Like, that's like a normal thing.
Any more comments? Any asshole comments?
I think most people say not the asshole because people are very like, oh, you don't have to invite somebody you don't want to invite. But it's more like the reason why you're not inviting her. Someone said, I used to have pretty severe driving/car anxiety. A road trip would have been an absolute nightmare for me, and there's no way I would have wanted to go on one. Being invited and having to explain why I couldn't go would have been embarrassing. Sometimes not inviting someone to do something you know they can't do is a kindness. It lets them save face and avoid awkward confessions.
That's not a thing.
If you already knew why, then no. Like, she's already said it. I'm not uncomfortable to tell people I don't drive due to anxiety. Like, I get that other people have different experiences, and obviously, I've gotten more comfortable with it. Like, whereas before, I didn't really explain it too much. But, like, what? Like, also,
Yeah.
that's, like, so dumb. Also, again, all these people, I mean, I guess that person used to have really bad anxiety about it. But I am currently still in it. So,
Right.
from my perspective, I think you're an asshole if you're not inviting her because she can't participate in the driving aspect to it.
Right. Right.
Like,
Right.
even if I eventually get my license, there's a very, very good chance that I don't want to participate in the road trip driving. Like, and that would be more awkward to explain because it's like, well, you can drive. You've been driving for years. Why can't you do driving for the road trip? Whereas, like, not having a license, it's like, oh, well, yeah, you don't have a license, you know? But, like, yeah, I don't know. I think you are
If
the
there,
asshole for not inviting her because she can't drive. You would be not the asshole if you just aren't close to her enough.
yeah.
Or you assume that she would just be too anxious to be in the car for that long.
Yeah.
You're not really an asshole for that if it's like obviously explained. But like maybe you don't understand her situation. Maybe she's just anxious about driving. She's not anxious about being in the car.
Sounds like it because I feel like riding anxiety is like that kind of works itself out usually. You can't really not ride any in this kind of world.
What do you mean?
I'm just saying that like it's really hard to get anywhere. Literally hard to get anywhere in life if you don't kind of challenge that riding anxiety.
Yeah, I
It's a
also
lot
feel like
less
most
common.
people who have riding anxiety are people who drive. Like I think a lot of
Yeah.
people get like what you have where you're
Right.
scared when other people were
I
driving.
know.
Um
Yeah.
Whereas if you don't drive, you probably have it less, unless you've been in the car with a lot of crazy people and a lot of
Yeah.
accidents.
Absolutely.
Then, because like for a long time, I was anxious just being in the car
Yeah.
because we had gotten into an accident, and I was really anxious just being in the car in general, just going to and from work and like all the typical stuff. But that eventually calmed down a bit. But road trips can be anxiety. Like, it does still give me anxiety, like, passing by the giant trucks and, like, all these crazy people on the road. Like, yeah. And some days I'm very anxious, and sometimes I, like, hardly even feel it,
Yeah.
like, for a road trip.
Hmm.
But it doesn't mean that I'm not going to go on a road trip because
Yeah.
I want to see different places. So it's like,
Hmm.
this girl, maybe sometimes she's anxious in the car and sometimes she's not. And sometimes she likes to actually travel, but she's just scared about being the one in charge of the travel. Like,
Right.
you don't know this, like, and you're not that close to her, I assume. And the fact that your brother had to, like, explain it for you guys to be kind to her,
Hmm.
it kind of just sets the tone of you guys are kind of weird and judgy people.
Rude. Yeah. If you're saying I'm missing a family event for a girls' trip, and you don't invite your sister-in-law, it's like, well, you don't really accept her. And I understand if you like want it to be your mom and your sister. That's not a girls' trip though. That's just mom and sister. Like I
Well,
think
if
you're
you're
saying.
not close enough to your sister-in-law,
Yeah.
then you wouldn't even have thought about
You wouldn't
inviting
even
her.
thought about
The
it.
fact that
Yeah.
you did think about it, but you
Hmm.
gave it reasons to not
Hmm.
invite her, says that you guys are close enough to do it with
Yeah.
her.
It sounds like excuses.
I don't know. It's just weird.
I think I'm leaning towards asshole. Definitely.
I think that you guys are mostly the asshole,
Hmm.
but like, I kind of just want more information on like what causes her anxiety. But yeah, like, I feel like, again, if you just had not even thought about it because you just wanted it to be, your mom and your sister, and they were like, why isn't sister-in-law invited? And then you guys are like, oh, we just wanted to keep it like us, like my mom and my sister, and we just planned it for us. Then that's like, then you're not the asshole. But you're the asshole for all of these reasons for not inviting her.
Yeah.
I think we need to go to the next one.
Am I the asshole for sabotaging my sister-in-law's dream job? I, 25 male, sabotage my sister-in-law's 18 female dream job of moving abroad. Let me give you the context firstly. Let's call my sister-in-law Louise, as she recently has been offered to fly halfway across the world, all expenses paid, for 6 months by herself for a traveling training course. Now I know what you're thinking. What an asshole, right? That sounds fantastic. But Louise has only just turned 18 and has never left the country alone, let alone by herself. More so, she will be placed in a hotel alone with no other staff there, just a work phone that will tell her day by day where she has to go and what to do. I understand that she's excited and probably blinded by how quickly it has all happened. But I worry, all of our family are worried for her, as it's such a big step and possibly not the best step to take in her position currently. With her line of work, she is required to be a strong swimmer with a signing off from a qualified lifeguard, in which I am. So rightfully, she asked me to sign her form. Now, usually I would love to help out, and her deadline is in 5 days. Otherwise, she misses her spot, and the position is given away to someone else. Well, here comes the sticky bit. She gave me the form, and I took it back to my house and told her I will sign it off and send it to her management team ASAP. But unfortunately, Louise isn't a good swimmer at all. In fact, she can barely keep her head above water in a baby pool. So I don't feel right lying for her and possibly putting her in danger. Like I said, I told her that it would be signed and sent, but I haven't signed it at all. It's currently sat in my top drawer in my office, and I honestly have no intention of signing it at all. So back to my question. Am I the asshole? It's a very weird one. I think you might have the right intentions, but you're just kind of being an asshole right now for not
Like,
telling
no, this
her.
person's the asshole.
Yeah, definitely the asshole because she is wasting her time. with you having the form, and you are hanging on to the form instead of just being honest with her and telling her, like, you doing this is just going to make her angry and resentful and get around you.
Yeah, so this is obviously in the theme of maybe just communicate. Like, come on. Just maybe talk to each other instead of going behind her back and saying, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna do this for you." Like you're like a villain in a story. Like what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
To just be like, "Oh yeah, I'll take care of it," and then you just don't. Like that's messed up. It doesn't matter. You're messed up. And like, if she's not a good swimmer, like tell her that. Like say like, hey, no, you gotta do some
Yeah.
classes before you do this, or I'll sign off on it, but like we gotta do some classes.
Maybe train on it, to help train her.
Yeah, like don't just be like, oh no. And also, like it seems like you're jealous. Like you obviously say, oh, what an asshole, and to say like, oh, like she's so lucky to be like able to have this opportunity. And it's like, dude, okay, cool, yeah, still help
Yeah.
her. Like you're being an asshole. Like we all get that you're jealous that she gets to go and do this thing, but
Patty, this says it's a training course. It's a traveling training course. So she doesn't have to be the best swimmer in the world
traveling training course for what exactly?
for swimming.
For swimming?
All expenses paid traveling training course for swimming.
What does that even really mean?
I have no idea. I've never heard this before. But she doesn't have to be an expert swimmer immediately. She just has to be able to not die in the water, and you sign her off and let her live her dream.
Okay, so she's doing a traveling training course. We don't know if she's training somebody, if somebody's training her, or what the heck is going on there. It seems like she's probably training somebody, but it just says that she's required to be a strong swimmer. So it seems like it probably just involves being around water or something where it's like they don't want her to drown or whatever. If she's training people how to swim and she's not a good swimmer, then like I can see what you're doing here. But you could still like offer to like actually train her. If it's just she's gonna be around water, so she needs to know how to swim. Again, you can just offer the trainer. You can write it off and say, okay, I'm gonna write it off so that we can get this in for you quickly. But like, you have to promise that you're gonna do this. Like, you're gonna actually practice swimming so that you're a better swimmer before you go. We don't want you to die because you fell into the water and you couldn't swim. Like, you know?
I agree, and I feel like
I think that's probably what it is. Like,
yeah,
it's just that it's
near water.
possible to
Yeah.
fall in the water and she needs to know how to swim.
I don't think the training is anything to do with
Yeah, because
swimming.
if it was something like that, I think this person would have said that.
Yeah.
And everybody would probably end up being more on her side because it's like,
Yeah.
oh, well, she's lying to get a job. Okay. Like, whereas it's more like, I know how to swim. And it's like, yeah, but
Right.
you're not that great. Like,
Right.
okay.
It's
Like,
probably
you know?
it probably is like a fitness thing where she goes to different exotic locations and records fitness videos there,
Yeah, I mean, it's a possibility.
like by a beach or something, or by
Also,
a
dream
pool.
job of moving abroad. It's her dream to do this. And you're, like, dude, you
Yeah.
suck. You are an asshole.
Yeah, definitely asshole. This is what's gonna happen. She's gonna find out what you did, and she is gonna find out how
Yeah,
you holding on to the
because
thing.
her management team is going to say, oh, we
We
never
didn't get
received
that,
it.
Yeah, she's gonna find out, and you're not gonna hear from her again. She's gonna resent you forever. This is the kind of thing communicating does to people. If you don't communicate, you just burn a bridge like that.
Mm-hmm.
And you looking out for her and wanting the best for her is gonna turn into.
It's not going to go far.
She's not gonna go far. She's still gonna do it anyway. She's gonna go around you and do it and hate you for it. Whereas you have
Or
you're
she's
per
gonna
position to
lose
help
it.
her. Yeah, she's gonna lose it.
And then she's going to have to, like, do something else in the meantime. And she's going to resent you every single day. Like,
You can usually tell in the title what, by the way the person phrases the question, what they think of it. And this guy already knows it's her dream job, and he's ruining it.
you mean
He
she?
already knows.
Oh, wait, no, it's a guy.
I'm assuming it's a guy.
Yeah. Wait, I thought this was a girl this whole time.
Mm.
I-25 male.
Mm.
Oh my gosh, that makes it kind of almost worse. Like, dude, like,
Mm.
calm your shit.
Yeah.
Like, we get it, men think that they need to protect everybody, every single woman in their life or whatever. But, like, you need to calm your shit, bro. Like,
Yeah, this is
stop
pretty
being an
clear.
asshole.
Yeah.
So, everyone is saying in the comments, you're the asshole.
Good.
You're the asshole. You're making a promise you intend to break. That's manipulative. Why couldn't you just give your honest opinion? Sure, she'll call you an asshole, but at least you won't waste time and credibility with deception.
Yeah, absolutely. You should be able to train her. Why aren't you training her?
Someone said, you're the asshole for lying and not communicating. It
Yeah.
baffles me when people come here and essentially could not be an asshole by having a conversation and refuse to.
Mm.
Someone said, you're the asshole. Did you sabotage because you believe she's not ready or because she is not a good swimmer?
Or
I
because she's
don't,
jealous.
I don't see why her dream job requires her to be a good swimmer and she doesn't know how to swim. Why not just tell her the truth so she can start proper swim sessions to be ready in the future for the job?
Mm.
You're just awful.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
and
not a
then
good
someone
person in
was
your life.
starting to say, like, could just be a country with beaches. It's like, yeah,
Mm.
that's what I think. It's not, her dream job is not swimming. Her
Mm.
dream job is to do whatever this other thing is that's
Mhm.
around water, and
Mhm.
there's a possibility of her falling in,
Yeah.
and they don't want to have to say that she died, you know? Like,
Yeah, the guy is like, "Oh, I'm the lifeguard in the family. How come she gets this opportunity?"
yeah. Someone said, you're the asshole. You're being all high and mighty about being concerned about her life, but you can't tell her your opinion. Instead, you manipulate her and try to take away her dream.
Yeah,
What is wrong with you?
basically.
Why couldn't you just tell her that you don't think she qualifies and you're not giving your name on her form? Are you really such a coward that you can't face her and you'll try to lie your way out of this and play the innocent? Jesus, this 18-year-old girl may lack judgment of her own swimming skill, but she is sure as hell more mature than you are at 25.
Yep, exactly. Yeah.
I kind of like, so this was like a very recent story. I kind of want to like try to see if there's an update.
Okay, yeah.
I'm pretty sure that the guy's account probably got deleted, so
Yeah.
there's no update,
Feels
unfortunately.
feels bad probably for his behavior.
Yeah, he's probably all embarrassed that everybody's
Mhm.
saying he's a fucking asshole.
Mhm.
Wow, I can't believe that. He's
Yeah.
a piece of shit.
Yeah, I would be so annoyed. I'd be like, "You kidding me? It's my dream."
Yeah, like just tell me. Like, come
Yeah.
on. All right, let's go to the next one. Am I the asshole for asking my boyfriend to move out after a week? I've been living by myself, 26 female, for about 3 years, and having been dating a wonderful man for 7 months now, 31 male. Initially, he would stay over constantly, and it would become overwhelming because he did not have a car nor a job at the time. So he went back home, and we would see each other Friday through Sunday, sometimes Monday. However, now he has a 9 to 5 job that is stay at home and lives with his parents. He's been pushing to move in with me from the beginning, but I've never been comfortable with the idea because we're not married and I like to maintain my independence. But I figured I would try it. It's been a week and I'm losing my mind. His work from home setup is in my room, so I can't access the area at all. I also work from home myself, and it makes it even more uncomfortable. I also now am dealing with small annoyances like having to pick up after him, etc. He does help with a bill or two, but rent and majority of the bills is ultimately on me, which I don't mind while living by myself. I was also sick recently and he didn't do much to help, which left an even worse taste in my mouth. Would I be wrong for asking him to move his things back home? It's mostly clothes, dresser, computer setup. I need my alone time back and I'm starting to already feel unhappy and resentful. What do you think?
Divorce. I don't know. I'm just like done. I'm done.
Also, like, bro, you cannot say, I've been dating a wonderful man for 7 months, and you literally couldn't even deal with him basically constantly being there. You can't deal with living with him. like, break up with him.
You already had your experiment.
You guys have only been together for 7 months. He's pushing so hard to move in with you, which is like a little suspicious because he lives with his parents. So he's probably just wanting to not live with his parents. And each time that you are constantly around him, you're sick of it. So, girl, it's not working out. He's not a wonderful man. He is just annoying you, and it's obviously not working out. Right?
I immediately said divorce, so yeah.
You guys aren't married. You guys are just boyfriend and
Still
girlfriend.
divorce.
Or
Yeah,
whatever.
You know,
Yeah,
you don't
boyfriend.
like it. It's not working out. You know how marriage is going to be. Don't get married, and don't be with this guy.
Why is his
Because
setup in your room? Why didn't you put your setup in your room? Like, because you work from home. Like, this doesn't make any sense. Sounds like he's just annoying and doesn't
Yeah.
understand anything. Also, why is he moving in and not helping with rent or the bills?
Or
basically?
cleanup at all.
Or cleaning up. What is he doing? He works from home. He's got time. Like, what?
he doesn't have to drive to or from work. He's got time. It gives him usually an hour to clean.
Literally.
I don't know. It's kind of silly.
The overall vote on this was not the asshole, which makes sense. Someone commented, yeah, he's shown you who he is, a taker. Leaving his mess, taking your space, not taking care of you when you're sick. Do it right away. He must be hard to dislodge. Good luck.
The only thing he doesn't take is care of you when you're sick. That's basically what we found out.
Yeah. Someone said, not the asshole. And I'm confused. You said you've been dating a wonderful man. Where is that man? The one you've described definitely doesn't sound like that.
I'm pretty solid on this one. I think I'm totally sitting in not the asshole.
OP responded to a comment, and I couldn't find what the comment was, but the response was, I have considered the possibility that it might be a deal breaker and would lead to the end of the relationship, but that in itself is worth my peace and sanity, and a risk I am willing to take. I do not want to stand in the way of someone else finding a more compatible dynamic for themselves either. Thank you. Girl, what are you doing?
I don't know what you're
Like,
saying. Is there an option that's like not the asshole, but come here so I can smack you? Is that one?
Yeah, like, this girl just seems stupid in general.
Yeah.
Because she's just like, so like, oh, well, he's wonderful, but I hate living with him.
Yeah, like
And
he doesn't
then-
abuse me, but he's bad to live with. It's like, that's the bare minimum.
And then she comments, yeah, I might have to break up with him, but it's kind of worth it. And it's like, okay, like, why couldn't you have thought about that before? Like, what, girl? Like, you don't need Reddit to tell you to break up with
know.
somebody that you can't even think about living with.
All right, Patty.
I feel like that was an easy one.
I got
so
you.
we should just go to the next one.
Exactly. I can read it. All right, let's go to the next one. Am I the asshole for telling my wife she's being brainwashed? I, 27 male, have been watching American football since I was a kid. I am a huge New England Patriots fan. My wife, 28 female, never watched it. We have been together for almost 10 years, recently married. She is athletic and likes sports, but she always said watching sport on TV is a huge waste of time, which is completely fine. I respect that. And she never said that I shouldn't watch it or nag me about it. My wife is a huge Taylor Swift fan, so now that she is dating Kelsey, my wife suddenly shows great interest in football and even started watching it. And of course, supporting Kelsey's team. That felt a little weird to me, to be honest. For example, she made fun out of me when I was in a bad mood. That means basically a few curse words at TV, not actual bad mood. When the Patriots lost, and said that it's stupid to feel that way because it's only sports. Now she's fully invested in the Super Bowl, and we're not even American. But I didn't say anything. At least she shows interest in football, which I don't care if she is, as I said. For the last few years, it became a tradition that me and 3 of my friends watch the Super Bowl at my place. First in my parents' house, and now my apartment. My wife never joins us, so it became a guys' night. A couple of days ago, she said she wants to host Taylor Swift-themed Super Bowl party and invite her friends. I said to her that they are more than welcome to join us, but that I won't host a Taylor Swift-themed party in my apartment on what was supposed to be a guys' night planned well in advance. She got mad and then started screaming at me that I am rude and sexist. Then I told her what I think about all this. I told her I can't believe she even wants to watch after all the comments how it's just a waste of time. I can't believe she's changed all her views because of Taylor, just because of Taylor, and that she's being brainwashed by the media. Now she's mad and wants an apology.
Why are you laughing?
It's silly. The whole thing's silly.
Like, when I saw a Taylor Swift themed Super Bowl party, I'm like, this is ridiculous.
This has to go in the podcast.
Yes.
I don't even know what to think.
Maybe just communicate
That's a great idea.
correctly.
Yeah.
Not
So
just communicate correctly.
that's an important distinction there.
So, okay. My thought on this when I read it was that the guy is the asshole for saying she's brainwashed. But other than that, he's not really the asshole because, like, she doesn't just get to come in and, like, be like, oh, I hate sports. Sports is so boring. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Which I hate it too. But then she comes in and she's like, oh my gosh, let's make it girly. And it's like, oh my gosh, like you're an idiot. Like, this is his thing. And now you're trying to, like, take control over it and make it, like, about Taylor Swift when it's like they actually care about it. Like, they actually care about the sports. And, like, I don't even care about sports.
Yeah, no, I don't. But I respect
The Super
that.
Bowl is just good because you get to have snacks.
And the commercials.
And the commercials are funny.
Yeah. I'm excited for Super Bowl. We're going to make some snacks.
I don't even know when it is.
I don't either. See, this is what we're talking about.
I literally was thinking about it. I'm like, when is it?
I'm
It's
sure
gotta
your,
be
your
soon.
family will tell us.
But,
I was going to say, if you're going to talk.
sure, the drama,
Yeah.
like, it's, like, nice. Like, it makes it more interesting. Well, the drama between the brothers were more interesting than the fact that Taylor Swift is dating a player. Like,
It's so, like, okay, good for her. That's all it is.
I think it's because, like, the guy is just so, like, head over heels for her that people are kind of, like, becoming obsessed with him even they don't care about anything about what he does for sports. They just care that he's so obsessed over Taylor, which, you know, oh, the other guys weren't, you know, kind of vibe.
I'm just waiting for her to make a breakup song about him.
I mean, I just feel like there could have been communication here where, like, she could have communicated to you saying that she's getting more interested, and then it could have been like, oh, I kind of actually want to be a part of the Super Bowl this year. Like, I'm interested. And then if she said that and he was like, oh, you're only interested because of Taylor Swift, you're brainwashed, then, like,
Yeah.
you're a piece of shit.
Uh-huh.
Because it's like, oh, she's kind of getting interested in something that you like.
Mm-hmm.
But since it's like, let's make it a Taylor Swift Super Bowl party, which doesn't make any sense. Like, if she was
She's
actually
not
like,
playing.
if she was like doing the halftime show, then
Yeah,
that would make
that
a
makes
little bit
sense.
more sense.
Yeah.
But she's not, so it's really dumb, and it just feels like she's just coming in on what you want to do and, like, making it girly.
Yeah.
Not saying that sports isn't girly, but
Or
she's
can't be enjoyed by girls.
doing
Yeah.
it like that, and it's just like, dude, like, calm your shit. It's not about Taylor Swift.
Exactly.
And he always does his thing with his boys, and it's always the same every year that they get together, they probably, you know, have some beers and they watch the game.
Yeah, but Patty,
and then now you're
Patty.
coming in making it Taylor Swift themed
know.
party. What does that even mean
I don't.
for an adult?
Wait, yeah, that does sound like a Sweet 16 theme. Wait, no, I was gonna say though, Patty, he never said she wasn't invited, and he never said it had to be a guys' night. He just said that that's usually how it goes.
Yeah.
So he's
and
not the asshole. I was thinking about everyone sucks here, but no, it's not the asshole.
he never said that she couldn't do it. He just didn't want her to make it about Taylor Swift.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's perfectly fine if she comes around and watches it, or, you know, she's there when they watch it.
Yeah.
Perfectly fine if she invites her friends. Just don't make it a Taylor Swift thing And also, it was already pre-planned, like with his friends. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's obviously a tradition, but they had already been talking about it like
Mm-hmm.
months in advance. Like, oh yeah, oh
Yeah.
we're gonna do Super Bowl with you. Okay, cool. That's how interested they are
Mm-hmm.
into it. Is that they planned it in advance that
Yeah.
they were gonna do
Yeah.
it.
I have respect for that kind of passion, no matter what it is.
Even
The
if she
way
wanted to
it's,
make it more of a party and invite
yeah,
people, sure, it's fine. If
that's
you want to have
fine.
more of the snacks and the different drinks and all this
Yeah.
stuff, sure, that's fine. But why are you making it about Taylor Swift?
I don't know. It also, the way it was phrased, it sounded like she was planning on having a party in their house at the same time as Super Bowl and not acknowledge that he was also having a party. And he was like,
More
"Are you
like
kidding me?"
she's just taking over it. I don't think it's like they have two separate parties in the same house.
I think that's what it was implied, that the way she came at it, like the way she talked about it, which is like, just no, you gotta communicate better than that. Hey, I know you like the Super Bowl. Hey, I like Taylor Swift.
I think
You know.
the one part that people are gonna end up saying, and is the only part where I feel like he is the asshole.
Yeah.
Other than saying you're brainwashed,
Mm-hmm.
by the media. Like, it's like, okay, you're brainwashed by guys, like, throwing it around a ball. Like, we can make jokes about each other's
Yeah.
things.
Right.
But, um, but he said, in my apartment. Like, I won't host a Taylor Swift themed party in my apartment. But you guys are married, so, like, isn't it both of
Oh.
yours apartments? Like,
Mm-hmm.
what?
Yeah. I don't. Our marriage does not operate like that. Like, it's us. Everything's ours.
Like, I'm assuming it's kind of like saying, like, like your kid does something stupid and it's like, well, that's your kid, they got it from you, kind of
Oh
thing.
my
Like, that's
gosh.
your son. It's like kind of like the same vibe where he's like, well, this is my house, and it's like, it's both
Yeah.
of our houses. Like, what?
My parents used to say that.
Someone said, a Patriot fan watching years of flyovers, national anthems, military ceremonies, American flags bigger than the moon, and it's Taylor Swift doing the brainwashing. Sure, you're the asshole.
I
And
don't really know
then
what that comment's trying to say, but yeah.
And then they said gatekeeping is the fun new word for what you're doing here. But then someone else said that it's not gatekeeping because he was perfectly fine with her
Yeah.
being there. He just didn't want it to be a Taylor Swift thing.
Yep. Exactly.
Someone said, you're the asshole for saying she's brainwashed. Isn't it possible that she started watching due to T Swift, but actually came to enjoy the game more than she thought she would? By calling her brainwashed, you are implying that she is devoid of thought and that you are so superior because you have watched the sport longer. Why not encourage her newfound interest in the game so that you can enjoy the sport together?
Yeah, I don't think it has to do anything about Taylor Swift or football, really. I think it has to do with how are you talking about the plans? How are you talking about how we're going to do things together as a couple?
Yeah, because she's just like taking it over
Yeah, she doesn't want to say,
and not asking.
she doesn't want to say, can I bring the girls? Because we were huge fans of Taylor Swift and her boyfriend's playing. So I got to say.
Someone said, not the asshole, since you had planned it first. But I think there's more going on here. You say my apartment 3 times, not our apartment. And that you won't host a Taylor Swift party. When I imagine your wife will host it and do all the preparations for her friends coming over. Is it her home or your home? Also, if the tradition was in your parents', how long has it actually been in not your wife's apartment? Why can't both of you co-host in your marital home? Are you sure you like being married? I can see how your wife thought there's a party in our home. Why not make it bigger? We share an interest in football now, so I'll have friends over too.
Yeah, that's just not how she said it. I'm bordering on the everyone sucks here, but it's still not the asshole.
I think it's just, yeah, like, it's just how she said it.
I feel like he's just kind of being annoying. Like the way he says things is kind of annoying. But I do
I think they
think,
both don't know how to talk to each other.
yeah, I think that's definitely true. And
But
the
I think-
communication has to happen.
Yeah, I think she's more the asshole than he is.
All right, Patty, ready?
Let's go to the last one.
Dun-dun-dun.
Am I the asshole for taking our son to Build-A-Bear without my wife? Long story short, wife mentioned to me a few months ago that she would like to take our son, 2-year-old, to Build-A-Bear. I said yes, I bet he'd enjoy that. And that was the end of it being brought up. Fast forward to today. My sister and her husband are in town for the first time in years. They live out of the country. And we made plans months ago to meet them halfway from where they were staying to spend the day with them. We planned for an indoor water park, and my wife planned to come along with my parents. Well, a few weeks ago, my wife signed up for a volunteer program that would make her miss the trip to see my family, which is fine because we have lots of other opportunities coming up to see them. I say, no problem, we'll miss you. Yesterday, we found out the water park is closed and needed to find something that could be entertaining for a 2-year-old and the adults while allowing us to still catch up. We decided to walk around a mall before getting lunch together. While walking around, my son sees the Build-A-Bear workshop and communicated in his own way that he wanted to do that. We go in, we make 3 bears. One is mommy, one is daddy, one is my son. And my son can't wait to show them to mommy. And honestly, neither can I. In my mind, we did something with the thought of her even though she wasn't there, while doing something she thought our son would enjoy. My wife is livid that I would do it without her. She never communicated to me that she wanted to do it with him herself, and it was only brought up once casually months ago that Build-A-Bear was even on her radar. I feel awful, but I also feel like she bailed on this pre-planned trip for something she didn't have to do, and feels left out after the fact and is taking it out on me. Am I the asshole? I certainly feel terrible now, but I know she wanted to be there for Build-A-Bear, but it's not like we made a plan to do it without her or even discussed the idea more than once casually. To me, it just seems like miscommunication, but she seems crushed and I don't even know what to do other than apologize to her.
You're the asshole. You already talked about it. You already know she wants to go. You did it without her. Bada bing, bada boom. You're done.
It's funny because when I read it, I was like, oh, okay, like, it seems like he didn't mean to be the asshole, but he is the asshole.
He's wrong in the situation, is all you have to say.
Um,
And the kid doesn't really know the difference at all. Doesn't really know what it... The kid's not being left out, so the kid doesn't really know. Just because the kid likes it doesn't mean anything.
I think that men need to realize when a girl brings up or their wife brings up something to them, even if it seems casual, it's not casual in their head. They've probably been thinking about it. They've probably been like, you know, even when the kid was born, oh, I can't wait till he's older so I can take him to Build-A-Bear. I always loved going to Build-A-Bear when I was a kid. Oh, I can't wait to take him to build his first bear. This is going to be so exciting. And then when you mentioned it to your husband, you're like, oh, I've been meaning to say this to him. I've been meaning to. Okay. Hey, we should do this with our son one day. And he said, okay. And then for him, it was casual. But for her, she'd been thinking about it for however long she's been thinking about it.
This means a lot to her, and this is ridiculous.
But yeah, she's probably been thinking about it for however long she's been thinking about it. If this was a thing that she did a lot when she was a kid, then she's probably been thinking about it since she was like a teenager. Or like if it was something important to her when she was a kid, she's probably been thinking about it forever. Like a tradition sort of deal.
Yeah.
If it's just, maybe it could be, I could never do it when I was a kid, so I want to be able to do it for my kid. Or it could just be more casual. It could just be,
Yeah.
oh, this is a fun thing to do with our kid. It's going to be cool to see him do it for the first time. He's probably going to be so excited. Either way, it's the first time. Anything that's the first time for kids, for your kids, she's probably going to want to be there.
Magical.
Just maybe.
It's a big deal.
Just a possibility that
This
she'd want
is-
to be there.
This is what happened. You were lazy. You're not thoughtful. You need to shape it up.
The only problem is that the context does help his side a bit because it's like, oh, like, you know, like we didn't have anything else to do. Like we need to do something with the kid.
Bowling,
And also,
mini
the
golf.
kid saw it and then he's all like, oh, I want to do it. And like,
We're waiting for mommy.
you have like a tantrum probably waiting to happen. I think that if it truly was a casual thing, like this is just a fun thing, It's just so hard because it's the first time.
My wife would beat me up. My wife would be like, "Are you kidding me? Like this moment with her kids, I don't get to share it."
Yeah.
The wife is like this the thing that I was wanting to go to with your family. I can't because I'm doing volunteer work. I heard that and I was like, volunteer work? She's doing volunteer work, and you can't wait for her.
Yeah.
There's only plenty
I
of
was
instances to
like,
see her family. That's why she skipped on it. Not because she doesn't want to go to Build-A-Bear. Like, you're not being smart, man.
yeah, you're kind of just an idiot.
I don't.
Definitely feel like when I
Yeah,
read it the first time, I was a little like,
sympathetic.
yeah, he's an asshole, but like, but like I said, like you don't know how long she's been thinking about this,
Yeah.
and like it could be a big deal for her. It could be like a tradition in her family or something, like
I know.
which you should know if that is the case.
You should know.
But also,
Kids
like
and
when somebody says, "I want that she would like to take her son to Build-A-Bear." Oh, if somebody is mentioning that they would like to do something with this other person, they probably want to be a part of it. You wouldn't go up to somebody and say, "Hey, I'd like to take this person to this place," and then the other person say, "Okay," and just take them to that place without you. Like, come on.
yeah, it's kind of like stealing her homework, really.
So someone said, "You're the asshole." I doubt you did it on purpose, but generally when someone says, "I'd like to take our kid to Build-A-Bear," it's usually implied they want to be there. The fact that you made a mother bear gives you a few brownie points because it does sort of show that you wanted her to be there in some way. But that doesn't really make up for her feeling like she missed out on being there for that experience. Kids rarely hate having more teddy bears. If I was you, I'd take the kid to Build-A-Bear a second time with your wife. OP replied, "Thanks, that's a good perspective, and I appreciate it."
It's the most like blah what it response, but whatever.
Someone said, "I think context matters. He didn't just go out and do it. His plans were canceled, so he was stuck in a mall with no plans with a 2-year-old, and he made a cute family. I would be happy he came up with a fun activity the kid enjoyed. Sure, if he'd gone and done it on a whim, it would have been a soft, you're the asshole, not the asshole."
This person sounds like they're put up with so much shit from their own husband that they're like,
Like that's what I was
right?
thinking
Like,
too.
oh, this is tame in comparison. You should be grateful they even did a mommy bear at all. Like,
I feel like that's why when I first read it, I was giving him more like, okay, it's not as bad as I thought, because it's like he didn't hear her say that and then was like on a whim, like, "Oh, let me just take you." Like it was just like in a specific situation, and he kind of just thought, "Oh yeah, this is a thing
yeah.
that we wanted to do with our kid, and he wants to do it right now, so let's do it." But like it wasn't planned. It wasn't like, "Oh yeah, on this day that mom's not around, we're gonna go." Like
Read the next comment because that I kind of agree with this one.
someone said, "Was Build-A-Bear the only child-friendly thing at the mall? I highly doubt it. He knew his wife wanted to take their son, and the whole point of that store is the experience, not just the toy itself. He denied his wife the experience of seeing the kids' wonder and excitement there for the first time.
Yeah,
You're the asshole."
exactly.
Yeah, I agree.
It's frustrating. I would be so mad.
A bunch of people are saying not, you're the asshole. Only a few people said not the asshole. So, yeah.
Just communicate. Hey,
Yeah.
wife.
Maybe if you had just communicated, you
Yeah.
could have called her up. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Call her up. Say, "Hey, the plans got canceled. We don't really know what to do. And he wants to go into Build-A-Bear, but I know you mentioned how you wanted to do that. So I just want to make sure it would be okay. You know? Not that hard, dude. If she doesn't answer, then don't take him there." All right. That was everything today. Thank you guys so much for listening. Please comment down below what you guys thought, your
Yeah.
opinion for each story.
Tell me each one. Just write a list. Yes, the asshole, not the asshole.
Yeah,
yes,
one
the asshole.
say not the asshole.
Yeah. And why?
Yes.
Is your homework.
And please like this video and subscribe to our channel.
Yes, please
Follow
subscribe.
us on our TikTok,
Yeah.
which is also called Love Life Support.
You can watch all the clips there.
And we have, if you guys don't like listening to a whole podcast, you listen to this whole podcast, you're here at the end, and you think to yourself, dang,
I hate this.
I don't like podcasts.
I'm just not a podcast person.
Don't you worry.
Don't worry.
We got you. You can go and see everything split up into clips. They're around 10 minutes long.
That's convenient.
Each story at a time with our commentary so that you guys can feel your feelings with us. And we can talk about it together. And yeah. We will catch you guys next time. And bye.
Bye.